Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Naomi. I am a South African living in the United Kingdom. If you haven't been to my channel before, I've been making videos about my experience of immigrating and how things are very different from South Africa and the United Kingdom. If you have seen one of my other videos or you've watched a previous video and now you're coming over to this one, hi! Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for watching other videos and thank you for watching this one. So, like I just mentioned, I have been making more sort of immigration, different kind of videos. In the future, I'm going to be making some very different videos. Let's get on with today's video. So if you have seen my video about losing our stuff, supposed to be shipped over to the UK. Okay, I will link the video down below. It's a video all about how we were all ready to get our stuff over to the UK, and then unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, we lost everything in our boxes. In that video, I mentioned that I'm a Christian. I mentioned that I pray, etc., read my Bible, and I even go on to mention a Bible verse, which is Matthew 6:19-20. I'm not going to go over it again. It's in, like I say, it is in the video, which I will link down below. Today's video is not really an extension of that or anything about that, but today's video is all about prayer. And I just wanted to set the scene to let you know, I am a Christian. I do pray. I do read my Bible. And I do spend time, in prayer. And we haven't been able to find a church yet, but I am still looking. Spousal visa route, which we did, you will know that you will be apart from your spouse for approximately 6 months. Now, we went over that. We were 8 months, but that's mainly to do with, COVID, etc. But this means that that means that you have to live without your spouse or significant other for 6 months or more, and your children will have to live without their mother and father for over 6 months as well. So for those of you who don't know, Martin, he's my husband, he's British, he has British citizenship, so he was able to come over to the UK before us, and he happened to get into the UK just before the whole world went, before everything shut down due to COVID. Before the planes stopped flying, things like that. He got here in March 2020. And just a spoiler alert here, we did eventually get over in November 2020. But yeah, let's carry on with the story. No, in March 2020, the world changed, COVID took over, and lives were changed forever. Because we were apart, Martin was here in the UK and I was back in South Africa in Pietermaritzburg, where we used to live, cottage with our 3 daughters. I was very scared that I was never going to see Martin again. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but there is a level of uncertainty I think we all felt during COVID. It was a very scary thought. I've also mentioned previously that I have 3 daughters. Casey and Hannah are twins. They're 18. Leah is our youngest and she is 9. So I had myself, these 3 children in a home during COVID, not knowing when we were going to see their dad and my husband again. So I was in South Africa being the single mom with 3 daughters and getting all that I could done and getting things ready for our visas once we could. So in South Africa, as things changed, in South Africa it went in levels. I don't remember what it was here in the UK, but it was levels in South Africa. So at level this, at level that, I was busy doing what I could do because there are some requirements for the visa, and I was getting all of those things done and trying to get everything sorted. I was also dealing with our immigration consultant to make sure that everything was right for when we could apply for visas. Martin was trying his best to set up life here for us in the UK. He was finding a place to rent, etc. He was doing the things that he needed to do. And once the restrictions were lifted, he was able to continue to do more that he needed to do. I haven't mentioned this before, but mine and Martin's anniversary is the 29th of October. We got married in 2011. And so while we were apart in 2020, we were going to be married for 9 years. Now, before the world, before COVID and all that, when we were planning the immigration, our anniversary seemed so far away from March. And we thought, no, we'll definitely be back together by then. It should be fine, because we knew that there was the 6 months that you had to wait. But in that 6 months, you can do the things that you need to do for, getting things ready. But yeah, we were pretty convinced we would be back together by our anniversary. Alert, we were not together for our anniversary, but I'll get into that now. Now, to go back to the thought of not knowing when Martin and I would ever see each other again. Now, please don't think that we are one of those couples who can't get along without each other. We've had to get along without each other. First of all, Martin used to travel quite a bit for his job in South Africa, so I was left alone with the girls now and again, and I had to just, get on with it. Do what I needed to do, move along, that was life. We had to get along without each other. Because of all this uncertainty, as a Christian, I knew that one thing I could do in this time of uncertainty, this terrible uncertainty, this fear, it was hanging over me, and I knew there was only one thing to do, and that was to pray. So I started to pray every morning. I would get up early, I would go outside, I would go and have my quiet time, as I call it, pray and worship the Lord and all that. And then I came across a few YouTube videos here and there, and they were suggesting not only praying but fasting when you are praying. So look, we all have different opinions of fasting, but to me, fasting is a very good thing, especially if you're praying for something as important as this. I started to fast, and I would fast on a Monday, a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Friday. So Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, I wouldn't fast. I watched many YouTube videos. I was praying and fasting and praying. And one or two of the videos said surrender. And I was going, okay, all right. And then I surrendered. Please, I'm putting that in air quotes because, well, I don't think I really did surrender. I'm a bit of a control freak. I'm a bit stubborn. And unfortunately, our daughters have all inherited my stubbornness. But I wasn't really surrendering. And as much as I was praying and fasting, I wasn't quite leaving it in the Lord's hands. I kept sort of trying to take it back from him. I'd go, okay, and it was a bit of so I needed to learn to let it go and let the Lord take over. Months came and went. Our anniversary came eventually, and we had to wish each other a happy anniversary on WhatsApp video call. We both did a lovely Facebook post, each of us, but it wasn't the same. And it's not going to be the same. It's not the same as spending your anniversary together, being able to see each other and, go for a romantic dinner, hold hands, etc. It was very difficult for both of us. And both of us were quite sad and emotional. I would say, obviously Martin didn't show his emotions as much as I did. But I was unhappy, and I was a little bit upset with the Lord, and I went, why couldn't you just let us be together on our anniversary? That night, when we said goodbye to each other on WhatsApp, I was completely miserable. I sat on the edge of my bed and I put YouTube on, and a YouTube video from Ronnie. I'm not sure of his full name, but Ronnie, he's from Ronnie and Mel. I will link their channel and this video down in the description. Seriously, they have some wonderful Christian videos that I think you should watch. They are such an amazing couple. Ronnie does motocross, and Mel was a model. It's very interesting. They have a really interesting channel. Go and have a watch. I will definitely link the video down below and their channel. Please go and have a look. I was watching this video, and you won't believe it, but this video came out on the exact day, on the 29th of October 2020, that I'm talking about. And I didn't realize it until I was doing research for this video. I didn't realize it, and there it was. It was actually published on the day I watched it. I believe without a shadow of a doubt that God wanted me to see this video on my anniversary and to realize what He'd been trying to teach me. And I think that God was trying to teach me that to surrender to Him and to His will, we have to give it to Him completely and stop taking it back and stop trying to do things for ourselves. And when we go, here it is, Lord, please take it, I surrender, you have to mean it and you have to let go. So obviously I didn't know this at the time, but I was watching the video and so I'd said my prayer and I went, Lord, okay, I surrender. I give it to you. The visas, the everything, the getting back together, the seeing Martin again, the being able to fly to the UK. Lord, I give it to you. I surrender. That's it. And I held my hands like this and I prayed and that was it. That was it. I said the rest of my prayers. I closed my eyes. I got into bed, closed my eyes, and that was it. I went to sleep. And it was a peaceful sleep, which it's hard to explain, but there were a lot of nights when it wasn't peaceful sleep because I was apart from Martin. There were things on my mind. There was worry. There was many nights when it wasn't a peaceful sleep. But that night, I had a really peaceful sleep. Next day was a Friday. I was having guests come over on the Saturday, so I said to the girls, I'm just going to go and do some groceries. I went on the Friday morning, and as many of you will remember back in COVID times, we had to be very quick with the groceries. And of course, when you get home, you'd unpack everything and sanitize everything and clean everything and pack everything away. So I had really gone off early. I said to the girls, I'm just going to go outside and go and do my quiet time. And I used to take Leah with me. She used to play in the garden while I was having my quiet time. And next thing, my phone made the noise that it makes when I get an email. And I thought, what is that? And I looked at my phone. And it was the email that we've been waiting for. I cannot tell you how excited, happy, everything. Look, it wasn't the final step, but it was the step to say a decision has been made. It was a huge weight off my shoulders. Okay, yes, we didn't know the decision, but that was coming. And I got on my knees right there in my kitchen, and I thanked the Lord for sending the email. I thanked the Lord for answering my prayer, and I thanked the Lord that He heard me the night before when I was so sad, so, if I can say, vulnerable, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is what it feels like to surrender. The Lord takes over. He does. But again, you have to trust. You have to trust the Lord. And it's difficult. It's really difficult. When you're in that moment and you're going through that situation, it is so hard to trust. But always know that there are seasons and you will come out of some and you will have to go through others. But if you trust, and seriously, if you surrender to the Lord and you mean it from the bottom of your heart, I am certain He will answer your prayer. So after all of that, everything fell into place. We got our visas, we got our flights, and we managed to fly out of South Africa. We landed in the UK on the 13th of November 2020, and I promise you we started our whole new life. So 2 years and a bit later now, it was a really hard time without Martin. I missed him. He missed me. We were actually apart for 8 months. Overall, I counted, it was 200 and some odd days. It was really, really long time. I think it was 37 weeks or something. It was a long time. It was a scary time. It was an uncertain time, but we got through that season and we got back together. We came back together, as a family, and we were in the UK together. That's what happened. I learned a few things from this experience. So the first thing I learned is if something is really difficult and you're going through a hard season or you're going through a hard time and you are praying for something, you have to surrender 100% to the Lord. You have to give it to Him and then let it go. Let it go, because if you keep hanging on to it, How can he fix it for you? How can he work the way he needs to work? You need to let it go. Go, Lord, I surrender, and let it go and take a step back. Okay, that is the first thing I learned. Second thing I learned was that God will answer your prayers in his time. We cannot rush this process. We cannot tell God a timeline. God knows the timeline. And the reason that God answers prayers in his time and not our time is because he knows better than we know. He knows what's around the corner. He knows what's coming. He knows what's been. He knows how you feel. He knows your heart. And he will answer in his time. If there is one thing that you take away from this video, please remember, God will answer prayers in his time. Not yours, not mine, but his time. And his time is always the best time. After all of that, and all the hardships, and all the missing each other, and the 8 months apart, and then this and that, we came back together. We were a family. A whole year later, on the 29th of October 2021, Martin and I went to London for 2 days, and he took me to see all the sights in London and do all the fun things. I went on a London tour bus, and I can tell you that was a dream of mine from when I was a little girl, was to go to London. I had a wonderful time. I had an absolute ball. I saw things. I saw Buckingham Palace. I saw this. I saw that. And I was so excited. And it was a dream come true. So, see, sometimes you have to go through the hard things to get the good and happy times at the end. And I can tell you that I was very happy a whole year later, ecstatically happy. So sometimes in life, if you are going through a hard time and you don't know what to do, just remember the Lord is always prayer away. And as I wrap up this video, because I'm sure I've been talking for a while now, I am so grateful to the Lord that he knew what was right for me, right for my family, and the right time. And even although it didn't feel like the right time to me, it was the right time for the Lord. And I am very happy that it's over and done with, and we're here together as a family in the UK. And I've learned things, and of course I've learned things. I did a whole series about, different things from the UK and South Africa. And my lives have changed. Everything's changed, but it's good. And I can tell you that wherever you are in life, if you are watching this video because you are feeling sad and lonely and not heard, and you feel like the Lord is not hearing your prayers, I can tell you, he hears every single prayer and he knows your heart. Keep praying, keep trusting, surrender, and the Lord will help you. I promise you, he won't work in your time, he will work in his time, but the Lord will help you. And as I wrap up this video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for sitting through it all the way to the end. I hope that this video has been a help to you in any way. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you'll come back to my channel again soon, whether you're new or whether you're a subscriber or whether you've watched other videos. Thank you so much. I hope that you have a great day further, and I hope that I will see you in the next one. Bye.